call the names. Wake the room. Wake the room. Wake the room! Luyu! Rex! Pam Ray! Naomi! Afasiana! Babbler! Monarch Soul! Jojo! Gray Eyes! Fill my eyes! Poets assemble. No masks, no manners. Say it plain, or say it broken. Monday night in the garden of enlightenment. Low light lit minds, every line got intent. Clock ticks crooked and the room turns vigilant. Quiet so loud you can hear what the tension meant. Then it slips after midnight, manners get murdered. Nice little masks get cracked by a word or a murmur. Twisted Tuesdays twist truth till it turns on its heel. Clean cut faces go strange when the dark gets real. You can feel that shit, that slick little slip when the grin stays sweet, but the eyes don't sit. Like the room grew ribs, like the walls grew ears, like the hush got hands and it's pulling you near. And the words don't rest, they press. Put a heel on the chest, leave a dent in the breath. Every line like a knock from the back of the brain. Like you came in one shape, you won't leave the same. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown and the soft don't dim. Late night poets, hear the whole thing shift from a whisper in your ribs to a line that lifts from the darkened edge of doubt to the pull you can't ignore. We don't just read the night, we make it something more. Say it plain, say it broken. Late night poets, Wednesday breaks, parts in the parts, ink down the spine, half halo, half hazard, both hands in the light in the yard. A seduction walks soft through the smoke, silk on the tongue with the blade in the joke. Books and bards wakes dust in the depth of the shelves. Old ghosts lean out and start naming themselves in a craft and selling up the ache. Gets a voice, pain stands up street and makes silence a choice. Then break on through when the devil gives way, when the masses sink but the pulse says pray. Echoes in the dark, go hunt the fear, that thing with no name starts ringing in your ear. Say it, say it. Fill my eyes with poetry, don't water it down. Let it bite, let it bloom, let it burn through the crowd. Bad company grins like a bruise, dressed smart, and rhythm and rhyme puts a boot through the heart. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown and the soft don't dim. Late night poets, hear the whole thing shift from a whisper in the ribs to a line that lifts from the darkened edge of doubt to the pull you can't ignore. We don't just read the night, we make it something more. Say it plain, say it broken. Late night poets, some come shattered, some come slick. Some speak honey with a blade in it. Some sound velvet, some sound wire. Some walk in low and take the room higher. Some come holy, some come liars. That's the thing! This ain't filler for the dead space, no. There's a pulse with a pen, there's a blood with a nickel, there's a breath to the backbone, ink for the crown. Live mics, live nerves, truth laid bare in the round. This is the beautiful mess, the bruise and the bloom, the line that cuts clean and makes a little room. Late souls, wide eyes, all nerve in the dark. A room full of hearts beating hard through the dark. Wake the room, wake the room. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown and the soft don't dim. something more. Late night poets, when the clock slips past polite, we tell the truth. LNP, we love you. Stay frosty.
Hello, world. Happy Monday. You are listening to The Garden of Enlightenment with Luyu Wild Dove, Grey Eyes Smith. Unfortunately, Luyu Wild Dove is having a heat wave where she is and has lost the power. So I don't think she'll be able to call in tonight. She did say if the power does come on that she will be calling in. That said, this show is brought to you by a group on allpoetry.com called Late Night Poets. And we also have anthologies available on Amazon.com under the same moniker. So feel free to check those out and help support these shows. That said, tonight's show is based on front page picks as well as some open poetry. And as always, Phil My Eyes is in the background. And we have T Manzano in the studio. Hello, T.
Hey, wondering you guys can hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Last time my mic didn't work, so happy to be here. I'll give this a shot. Hope I don't, like I said earlier, hope I don't stink up the room.
Well, it's pretty rosy so far, so you're doing good. It's good to have you call in
Thanks.
tonight. I hope you'll be able to read some poetry with us and make some nice comments as well.
Sure, gonna give it a shot.
All right, I'm going to post the first link here. And this has a SoundCloud. This is uh, sorry, by Laureate Montaner, and I will post this into Late Night Poets group. And hopefully Phil has the audio to play this. What's up, Phil? Do you have the audio, do you think?
Hey, Gray. Yes, I do.
Hi.
I have a question for you.
Yep.
Are you really going to start with open poetry?
Well, it's the
Because
top
you're
of the
going
list.
backwards. So I mean, I
Uh
can from I can run them the usual way, or you can do them this way, just so I know what the heck's going.
oh. All right.
So
How about you post the links and we'll go with that.
okay, okay, I can do that.
Alrighty.
Now we'll figure out
Oh,
what
I see. You already posted a link, hey?
I did, but I didn't put the name on it. So
Okay. All right. Well, this is hats, and hats brings us the initials of EH. Wrapped in dust and cobwebs, like a cocoon, it hides the past, a long dormant secret in the attic light. Dust particles dance upon my breathing. Spiders crawl into the holes. I take the key, which he carried in his wallet. Rusty lock. A squeak as refusal. It won't release. Like an abandoned lover. 2 drops of oil. Plink, plink. The drops slide into the bowels of the lock. As if I heard a sigh. Years of waiting. The lock doesn't creak. It clicks quietly. Yes. Holding my breath, I open the trunk and stare at it. Stare at typewriter Corona number 3. There's a paper in it written. It's a letter. In my ears, heartbeats echo. Now I understand. End poem. And T Manzano, what did you think?
Yeah, when I was while you were reading this, and I kind of read it a little earlier, it's almost like they find some kind of secret or something from a family past that you're not supposed to know about. It's kind of creepy and um, almost like she's not supposed to be looking for it, but she does and finds it. And the reason I think that is because at the very end it says, "Now I understand." It's apparently something, maybe like a family secret that's been going around. Then she went out digging around for it. She found it, and now she's found it out. And you don't necessarily know what it is, but it's typed out, and I kind of like it. It has this kind of interesting kind of Doctor Sleuth to it, so I like this. Very, um, yeah, it's very atmospheric. I can almost smell the dust, and the cobwebs and sweeping them across your face. Has like a dark visual to it, so enjoyable read. I found it fun while you were reading it, and kind of put my mind's eye inside the writer. I liked it. It was good.
Absolutely. Fantastic comment, Team Manzano. Yeah, the initials of EH, who was writing to whom, what was being said. Obviously, it's been um, locked away in the attic for many, many years, and I really like the detail of two drops of oil, plink, plink, the drops slide into the bowels of the lock, as if I heard a sigh. Years of waiting. The lock doesn't creak, it clicks quietly. Um, that's such a palpable and visually engaging expression right there. That you're almost standing there, sitting there with her, as this is being opened before your eyes, and you know, um, I really thought it was fantastic. So nicely done, hats, and thank you for sharing. And congratulations on your front page pick. All right, fill my eyes. Where are we to next? All right, I'll refresh the page. Maybe that'll help. Oh, we have Glastonbury Fashion and the Lessons of Butley Ridge, a poem by Seaglass. Would you mind reading it for that for us, T?
All right. Glastonbury fashion and the lessons of Butley Ridge. I'm glad you said Butley because I didn't know how to say that. By Seaglass. Baggy trousers. Baggy trousers. We called them culottes. I had two. A black pleated ankle length one and a tie-dye boho style worn on forays down Glastonbury Way, where we camped in a field of cowpats and muddy puddles and looked for something to believe in. It was the last cherry wine and rain summer before the babies and mortgage arrived. We hung out in the High Street Cafe and at night sat in circles in the Tor fields listening to gutters, listening to guitars, our cheeks reddened in the heat and the glow of the campfire. We, myself, posing in the voluminous tie-dyed trouser skirt and mud-caked welly boots, and himself in immaculate blue jeans and pristine suede tasseled jackets. I read King Arthur's Avalon and View over Atlantis, and how the abbey monks and poets wrote a Joseph of Arimathea walking with Jesus in the Glatsbury fields, and followed by John Michael's lay lines to Butley Ridge and saw the sun rise above swirling morning mists. I didn't see the face of Christ, said to be marked out in the Vale of Avalon, below or feel my mystical powers of ley lines, but I did see Orion loose his arrow and the seven sisters in an unpolluted night sky, and I learned the chaos of love, unrequited. End poem.
Great read. Thank you so much, T. The author's notes say the amazing prompt poem revived old memories that I wanted to share, but I recognize this piece may not qualify for the contest due to its format and word count. Um, yeah, I thought it was a wonderful reminiscent poem. What it sounds to me like hippie days, where they just went out to the fields and camped and, got high and just watched the world go by. And Under the night sky, they're watching Orion loose its arrow at the seven sisters in an unpolluted night sky, and I learned the chaos of love unrequited. Yeah, it was a fantastic write, really. I thought it was great. Um, the whole ambiance of the write, the whole uh, time, like it feels like the '60s to me. Um, when the hippies were living large, I guess it is. Uh, late '60s, mid '60s, but like I like the reminiscence of it. What a hell of a time to be alive. Uh, when you weren't polluted by modern, you know, uh, phones and cameras and all the stuff that comes along with being alive in a modern world. It's uncomplicated. Adulthood seems like it's years away, and I thought it was great, really. Nicely done, Seaglass. Thank you so much for sharing, and congratulations on your front page pick. And your thoughts, T. Manzano.
Well, I'll tell you, for my first one, that was a whole lot of words I didn't know all at one time. I did know a lot of them, but when they're mixed together like that, I was stumbling over them. So I really apologize for Seaglass if you're listening. I kind of bumbled my way through that. But yeah, to your take, Gray, it was very reminiscent of the '60s for me. It was very outdoors. It's a lot of ambiance to it, and just atmospheric. Uh, yeah, I could smell the weed, the pot, or whatever you want to call it, in the air. It's got that kind of big feel to it, where it's breathed. Has a lot of, I don't know, it felt breathy to me, even though, and the way those sentences were kind of put together, they ran so smoothly. I wish I would have done them a little bit more justice. I wish I actually would have read this one first. I would have done a little bit better job to it, because it was really, really well done. A lot of times, the enjambments of other pieces, they cut them off, and it's good. And some pieces where they cut them off sooner rather than later, and they have those line breaks. Well, this kind of just stretched out, and it wanted to breathe and run, and it just felt open, and it didn't have a lot of noise to it. The words just fell very nicely together. I really enjoyed the piece. I thought it was really, really well done, really well written. Um, just wonderful ambiance to it.
Wow, fantastic comment. Thank you so much, T. And an excellent read as well. Absolutely wonderful job. All right, so I'm gonna grab the next. Oh, sorry, no. Bill's gonna post the next poem here, and it is a poem by Eric Svensson, and I will give this a read here. It's called "All That Glitters." Upon golden pond, deep within, lies hidden, murky roots, streaming with black hair, far from the shimmering satin sheen above. All that glittered wasn't gold. Slowly sank, drifted down to find her final resting place within. Blue dragonfly, pallbearers tilt and stall, slowly slide onto the placid surface, seeking rest. End poem. Well, that was interesting. What did you think, T?
You know, I was trying to find the poem while you were reading it, so I was like, okay, where is it now? Um, and if you could comment it first, just so I can read it real quick. I didn't get a chance to really hear it, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I really like the way it opened with a pond, golden pond. Deep within lies murky roots, streaming with black hair. It really is a thought-provoking introduction. It really has you measuring and thinking, what the hell is he talking about? Um, and then the next stanza is, I don't know, it's should be bright and glittery, but it's not. It's dark and it's morbid in a way. Slowly sank, drifted down to find her final resting place within. Um, like, is somebody being buried in the pond? Like, I'm not really grasping it because the next stanza says, blue dragonfly pallbearers tilt and stall, slowly slide onto the placid surface, seeking rest. I don't know. It's a really thought provoking write. I'm just curious on what the subject matter is really pertaining to. Um, I don't know. There's something like, I don't know, kind of dark, but peaceful at the same time. I mean, a pond always gives me such a peaceful feeling, but then got uh, fire. I mean, dragonflies tilting, like pallbearers tilt and stall. And so, they're dumping a coffin in there. Like, I'm not too sure what's going on,
Yeah.
but it's definitely a thought provoking, right, for sure. I'm just trying to browse the his comments to everybody to see what if I can get a hint on what exactly he.
Yeah, what he might have meant through it. You're right. I there's a lot of bright and beautiful parts to it, and then there was a lot of this like dark and kind of tragic. And I can't read what's really going on either. It's got an illusion of drowning or death or like a final resting place. The pond has less like this peaceful thing, and then there's the shimmering and bright smooth top layer, and then I don't know. I found it hard to kind of really drill down as to what the thematic scene was here, but it's the best way I can do is it's deceptively dark and bright all at the same time. It's the best way I could put it. Are you still there, Gray? Uh-oh. I think Gray's gone, and maybe Luyu, are you with us?
Unmute Gray.
I don't think Gray's with us. I think Gray fell out.
Oh, it
Oh,
might have
there he
dropped.
is. Yeah, here he is. He's back.
Yeah, I've been dropped twice already. So anyway, my bad.
No worries.
Hello, Louis Welda. Welcome to the show.
Anyway, I'm
Yeah.
glad to be back on. All the electricity was shutting off all over the city,
Oh my
and
goodness.
at 107 and no air conditioning is, ugh. And I couldn't get on the internet because my net was down too. But I really enjoyed that read you read. And Eric, he wrote to a word prompt that was 50 words, and the word he was supposed to use was within. And to me, I agree with everybody's perception of this. Nature can be very beautiful and it can lull us, and sometimes people don't feel at peace. I don't know if this person committed suicide, because they said they slowly sank, drifted down. um how like sometimes people feel like nature talked to them, and maybe she was lulled to get into the water, and she sank. But even in this darkness, this is quite beautiful, because he's saying that gold isn't always glitter, you know, it can be deceptive. And maybe she thought she'd find peace if she just fell into this pond. And then also the other thing, it's beautiful and dark at the same time. Blue dragon fly pallbearers tilt and stall, like when you're falling into the water and you're looking up, so it says that's where she was looking to seek rest. So at the same time I found it sad.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, welcome to the show, and glad you can make it.
Yeah, I was happy I could, you do all that work and then you can't get on it, just like, ugh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Happy to be here, happy to hang out with y'all.
Woo woo.
Woot woot.
All right.
Has Zach or
No Weaver,
Weaver?
no Jack. No,
Okay,
no,
she
not
might
yet.
be sleeping because she lives in Scotland.
Scotland. Yeah.
Hmm.
I love her reading voice. She's so good.
Yes, she is, and she's funny too.
Oh yeah.
Okay, they got a poem up by JoJo, and the room kept its booking. And Tim, you're scheduled to read next.
Okay. Is it on the board yet? Because I don't.
Yes, it's it's
It's
it
in
just
late
it
night poets.
yes.
Is
It's
it
a
in the?
yeah,
It's in the
Phil.
group message, or
Yeah, it's in the
Yeah,
group messages.
I only see Eric Stevenson. Hold on a
Yeah,
minute.
it's right
you
above
got to
it.
refresh.
Oh, sorry. It's. Let me refresh. Give me one. I'm sorry, guys.
No,
That's
I
okay.
might
Super.
the new
Yeah,
site
you have to
might
keep refreshing.
Got it.
yeah.
Got it. Okay. All right. Very good. The room kept its booking by T.S. Jojo. You end in August. You ended it in August, and the room kept its booking. The bed was made too tightly, sheets tucked hard under the mattress. I stood there with the kettle on, doing our pretense badly. Too much water, not enough flame. The grate smelled of last night's smoke, damp kindling, and the small brass shovel. I lifted it once, black dust, a burnt match, a twist of peel, no reason for the peel. That was the worst thing, the peel. Small, orange, with one bright edge still refusing the soot. I put it back. I shut the fire guard too hard. In the garden, the table stayed out. Breadboard, knife, the blue plate with the crack through it. The cheese had sweated under its cloth. The butter softened. A fly kept coming back to the jam, as if sweetness had survived us. You would have laughed. In the guest book, your married name carried on as if the hard were only late, as if the hand were only late. Lovely fire, good bread, quiet room, thank you, milk. The last word was milk, nothing holy about it, just milk, leaning right, the K gone thin, where the pen was running out. I look, I took the book inside when I found it. There was a receipt pressed flat between September and October. I touched it and made it worse. That is mostly what I do now. I buy brie because you like brie and then let it fur in the fridge. The house does not care. Dust comes back on the mantle. Ash settles behind the basket. Something small has nestled in the chimney. Excuse me. Sorry. Something small has nested in the chimney. At night, I hear it shift and think, for half a second, are you turning in the next room? Then not. Then the whole house goes very ordinary again. In March, I found the hamper list in the biscuit tin. Sourdough, cheddar, thick cream. Your thumbprint dark on the paper. Ash or butter, I do not know. I bought nothing. I held the list until the corner softened. Outside, the garden table was waiting, not kindly, not cruel, just wet, open, set for two, ready for whatever could still be pretended. End poem.
Wow, great read, T. And Luyu, well done. What did you think?
You did a great job in reading it, Tim. You know, I liked the slow reading because I found that it just expressed the sadness in here. Um, you know, he's talking about that book, you know, the different names written in there from different people that have loved each other and have made memories, but for some reason they're no longer together again. And, because in his author's notes, he says the poem treats The guest book as an accidental journal, a public record of love that could only exist in borrowed rooms. There is no grand revelation, only the life two people made in fragments: bread, milk, ash, peel, a cracked plate, a thumbprint. The ordinary things become evidence afterward. The room keeps their appointment, the handwriting keeps speaking, and the table remains set for whatever can still be pretended. I really found this heartbreaking. Um, the images just stand out so lonely, and the joy and the happiness of them spending time together, you know, um, the emotions of sharing and being strung together, um, and when they're no longer together, because when you go back, those inanimate objects are still there. I really liked it, it really impressed me with the pain about, I can't see it, but he said that he brought a cheese. I buy brie because you like brie, and then left it for in the fridge, just where it's just there alone, just getting moldy. I hope that we don't get moldy. But I really enjoyed this poem. It's to me, it's very sad and deeply heartbreaking.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, you know, what I got out of it, it feels as though um, you're standing in a moment, looking at the past, looking at the little things that remind you of a time that once was that no longer is. And The Room Kept Its Booking is a great title. Um, but I really liked the great smell of last night's smoke, damp kindling, and the small brass shovel. I lifted it once, black dust, a burnt match, a twist of peel. No reason for the peel. That was the worst thing. The peel. I mean, something so small and visceral that it really stands out against the ash of the fireplace. Like, why is that there, and how did it get there? What is it about? But and then in the garden, the table stayed out, breadboard, knife, a blue plate with a crack through it. He's reminiscing all of this, and it's palpable for sure. I thought it was a fantastic write and did a beautiful read of it as well. Do you? Um, what did you think, G?
The minute I started reading it, I felt like I needed to slow down. You could just tell by the very first stanza, the way he has his spacing, and then he moves that last line of the first stanza over, and it told me right away, I'm gonna. This needs to be, needs to breathe. It needs to be. It's almost felt like every stanza was just so impactful, and I got a little bit caught up. That's why I had to pause. Um, it was so brutally painful, and it's almost an homage to something you've lost and you'll never get back again. And it's somewhat, you're cherishing it, and you're still remembering its presence. And and nothing is overly, it's not like anything's written beautifully, like it's nothing's about flowers or birds chirping or wonderful skies. It's beautiful in its presence. It's talking about these things that maybe only he knew with her, or him and her, because I don't really know who these people are, but the remembrance of it, it's so tactile, it's palpable. And then I lifted it once, black dust, a burnt match, a twist of peel, no reason for the peel. I love that stanza, and the way it just kind of, it, each line is its own line, but it just sits right on top of each other just so perfectly. And then that was the worst thing, the peel. I really love that arrangement in that section. There's just so much loss here. it's just so palpable to me. Wonderful write. I just love JoJo's writes. I've read a lot of his other things, and he's just so powerful. He's got such a strong pen. I really enjoyed this one.
Thank you so much, T. Appreciate that. Okay, so the next poem is called "The Light," and it's a poem by Elizabeth Scott. And Luyu, would you give that a read, please?
Yeah, JoJo's poem was a real. My throat. I'm sorry, I had to clear my throat after listening to Tim read that.
Yeah, I
This
heard you
is
cracking up.
yeah, it just choked me up because it's so sad. Elizabeth Scott, she penned The Light. Cold. I'm frozen in denial, watching the fluorescent light barely reach the crack under the door. In another room, another life. I hear coughing. He's awake. I turn my head to block out the light. Allow me to forget one more time the fight. He can never find out what she said. Eyes blinking, my mind falls silent. I hear screaming, fragmented echoes breaking through my fragile hold. Tonight, the memory plays as I listen to a friendship die. And
Beautiful read, Luyu. Thanks so much. And T, what did you think?
Sorry, didn't know whether I had my mic on or not. Yeah, it's the way it started. It sounded like a love affair, didn't it? And then um, I'm gonna say I think it was a bigger loss than maybe a love affair, because it says that it's a death, a friendship, that died. Um, I did understand a little bit of the in the part in here in the middle where he could never find out what she said. Still trying to put that together. Eyes blinking, my mind falls silent. I hear screaming, fragmented echoes breaking through my fragile hold. Tonight, the memory plays as I listen to a friendship die. So I'm still trying to follow where that heads, but it feels like a loss of a friendship, a loss of someone very important to them. Um, Feels somewhat tragic. A painful breakdown of a friendship is how I portrayed it.
Yeah, fantastic comment. Thanks so much. To me, it reminds me of a child huddled in their room listening to their parents argue. And I think the part where he says he could never find out what she said is something that the mother shared with the child, and it's their little secret that she's been told to keep to herself because she didn't want the father to know what she had said to the daughter or the child. So, to me, it reminds me of my childhood, unfortunately, listening to my parents argue and fight.
It's a great take on that. I didn't even get that, man. That's wow. That turns it around for me. Very good. Very well done. If you're still there. Luyu, are you still
did
there?
he get dropped? Did he
Yeah,
get dropped?
it looks like he got dropped.
I
Yeah, but
did,
hey,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
but Gray, I was
Okay.
gonna tell you, Gray, that's a great take on that. That totally spun it around for me. That's great. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've been that child, unfortunately, so I'm sure Lee you has as well.
Yep.
But that said, I'd like to welcome Weaver of Dreams to the show. Hello, Weaver.
Weaver!
Yay!
Hey
Love it.
there, love.
Hello, people. How are you?
We're doing good.
We're better
So good
now.
to
We get
have
to
you.
hear
Great.
your wonderful laugh.
Happy to have
I
you.
love it.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, hello. Thank you so much. I'm so chuffed.
Did
And lovely to
did
be
you
here. Thank you.
did you get to hear the poem "The Light" by Elizabeth Scott?
No, I'm sorry. I was working through getting everything set up. I do apologize.
Okay,
But I'll look at it and
next one. Okay,
yes. Okay.
that would be fine. Great. This reminded me of possibly two friendships, like they're both living in the house, because obviously she hears the person she's had a horrible fight with that has actually caused a breakup. And, you know, she says, he's awake. I hear coughing, in another room, another life. When whatever the fight was severe enough to break up a long-term friendship, because obviously you're living in the same apartment, trailer, house, and where she says that she sees that light come on and she turns her head because she doesn't want to see it, because that means he's awake. Allow me to forget one more time the fight. So this was a very traumatic, emotional fight. Um, and whatever she said, he can never find out. Maybe she found the truth about something that was just devastating, and then, you think about this person and, did you really know them? Because whatever happened was traumatic. Because she says, my mind falls, eyes blinking, my mind falls silent. I hear screaming, fragmented echoes, something that is so horrific. You don't want to believe it, and then you start questioning everything because it breaks through my fragile hold tonight. It says the memory plays, because when something like that, you replay it, almost drives you insane. And she says, as she listened to a friendship die. So, being in a long-term friendship sometimes is being closer to somebody than your own siblings or your own relatives. It's a love of trust that you build over time, and to have it broken in this fight, it's it's horrible to go through something like this when you lose a friendship, especially a close one, and then to have to be living in the same area, in the same room. you know um, you're just going to keep replaying that fight over and over again. It's a powerful right, very painful.
Thank you, Luyu. Okay, so up next we have The City by Kelso G. Turtons. And I'll give this a read. Walking past faces we call strangers. The city is most intimate when she's asleep, in languid hours of amber lights and shuttered streets. The city speaks to me in its sleep. Tube light flickers outside 24-hour shops, and the muffled hum of air conditioner boxes. The city sings to me in my sleep, in the center of the known world, where a lifetime's worth of dreams might expire before sunrise. Inside skyscrapers and apartment blocks, the city still can be cruel, even when asleep. End poem. Hey, your thoughts, Lee Wildo?
That was a great read, Gray. you know um, I used to like to walk at night. There's just something about a sleeping city and the few people that you pass on the street going their way home from work or from eating out. Like, I'm a night owl. That nighttime speaks to me. So even, a city would speak to me in the same manner. When I used to live with my grandmother, there's just something about those colored flickering lights outside of shops, and the hum of the air conditioner. It says the city sings me in my sleep. you know um but it's also cold, and it can be inanimate, especially if you've been there a while. And it says where a lifetime worth of dreams might expire before sunrise. When the sun comes up, it just brings a different reality. So I thought this was very well written. I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you, Luyu. And Tim, what did you think?
Yeah, I love how what really stands out is how it really nails the specific feeling of like a late night, urban isolation. It shows us how the city is actually it's most intimate when the crowds are gone, and these I have all these like background sounds like a flickering neon, the humming AC units, turn to this like personal lullaby. I really love the atmosphere of it. It's also I can hear these things, so they're very auditory type emotions that we're also bringing forward as well. But the poem's not just all cozy, it's not all just all buttoned up and oh, it's so nice. There's these dark turns, that reminds me like, the places where a lifetime worth of dreams might expire, before sunrise. I mean, that's just such good stuff here. There's a very dual thing going on with this piece, and it just reveals, I think, how the city can be, your closest companion and yet a cold, indifferent machine, like at the same time. Um, Very, very well written for such a short piece. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. It makes me want to write a poem on the city. But yeah, fantastic comment, Tim. And Weaver of Dreams, what did you think?
I'm so sorry, I don't actually have that. You did send me a list, but I didn't have that on it. So I
Oh,
can't quite
okay.
remember all of it.
All
I
right, no
start
worries.
off it. You maybe have to send me. I can tell you where I started, but the what you gave me was it started off with "Mate in Lichen Bread" by White Tiger is the first one that I have, and then Typewriter Ghosts, and I just didn't see the city. I'm so sorry.
Okay, I'll take a look.
Yeah, the
Alrighty.
list is kind of messed up because it goes down. In other words, your first poem is your last poem.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know why I put in a ticket, but it hasn't. I don't think it's been fixed yet
Yeah, I've got
because
all the
I
way to
get
open.
lost too.
I got all the way to open poetry, and I've gone through all of them, and it's not there. Um, but now I know, obviously. But it's still not even there. You're not in open poetry yet, are you?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Well, sorry.
No,
Chaos again.
yeah, it didn't allow me to put it like I used to on the old pages, front
Mm-hmm.
page picks, and then open poetry. It doesn't allow me to add in and put in all that stuff. I'm sorry for the confusion because it even
Oh no,
confuses me.
no, I'm sorry. Everywhere I go,
That's
there's
okay, love.
confusion. Don't worry
Aw,
about it.
sweetie, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Anyway, please carry on.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it on your list either that I sent you. So,
Oh, good.
um,
Well,
absolutely. All right. Well, I'll try and figure this out here, and we'll keep going. Alrighty. So, where are we to next, Fill My Eyes?
She's got a poem up for Weaver Gray.
Alrighty. Oh, sorry. Just gotta get to the group here. All right. So we have letters by Larry. Um,
The glass kitchen table.
yeah. So just check your messages from me, Weaver, and it'll be there.
thank you. Okay, great. Thank you. Let me just do.
Yeah, it's called the glass kitchen table.
Actually, no, I can see it on comments. So if I just copy and paste that, because I can't see it on I haven't got it yet from Gray. So
Yeah, I've
just
sent it.
bear with me,
It
folks.
should be in your messages.
Mm,
Yeah, we got a new site up,
okay,
so
let me
everybody's
see.
still trying to figure it out.
Oh dear. So sorry, people. Okay,
Don't
I'll be
know.
there in a second.
Yeah, I absolutely love the new site. It works so well. Can you hear the sarcasm?
Uh,
not, not at all. No, as if
If I could have a
I've
couple of
found
shots
it.
of
I've found
tequila,
it.
maybe I'll get it.
You can have some of my whiskey. I'll pour it down the line for you. Here you are. It'll do you a power of good.
Oh, there you
Thank
go.
you.
Okay, when I'm about, it's always going to be a case of chaos, and I do apologize, people, but we're here, we're here, we're here. Okay, I can do this. Oh my God. Okay, I've already aged 10 years. Right, I have it. Letters by Larry, the glass kitchen table. And I apologize. Okay, here we go. It's wonderful. Here we go. It stays in the playroom, no longer a table, but a window reflecting us. Last night of that year, lobsters and wine, 2 chairs and red string. My legs pressed beneath your thighs, filling the space between us. The day we traded the goblet for a tumbler and a sonogram expanding our reflection, making empanadas of our own 13 folds for each one, spreadsheets beside giant crayon cars when I stayed home to watch our son. When you hit his hand for reaching for your keyboard at your English class, your fist slamming the table before you stand, leaving my words echoing in the room. That glass learned noise, quiet, 3, until we went back to only 2 chairs. That kitchen table holding the wreckage of us. End poem.
Fantastic read. And what did you think, Lee Waldorf?
I thought Weaver did a beautiful read of Letters by Larry Poem. I just love this poet. She won so many medals, 3 gold, a bronze, and an emerald medal. Um, you know, the thing is that when you're sharing a life together, the beginning, when you're having, you're celebrating with lobsters and wine and 2 chairs, and obvious the love that, because their legs are pressed beneath your thighs, filling the space between us. And then, of course, the day we traded the goblet for a tumbler, you can't drink when you're pregnant. And obviously, they had a child. And they were, that glass table that you use when you're a couple. And then as you add on to your family, you know, um, she says that they were making empanadas of our own 13 folds for each one. And that, of course, as a child, spreadsheets between giant crayon cars when I stayed home to watch our son. And he was probably, typing on that kitchen table, and he slapped, obviously this was serious, because now that table only has her son and herself. And it went back to 2 chairs, and it's just the image of how that table where he was sitting and their child was sitting, um, the abuse that I'm probably sure that son took, because it had to be very serious for their family to be torn apart. I'm sorry, Larry, if this is what happened. Lots of love. Cariños. Corazón.
Thank you so much, Lee. Thank you. And Team Manzano, what did you think?
Yeah, this is an exceptional piece. I'm sorry, I've read others by Letters by Larry and or Leary, I think it is. And she has a lot of rights about um, this relationship and her son, I believe it is. And this one I have not read yet, and it's just absolutely exceptional. The opening stanza just guts me, um, because I write a lot about in my own work by reflections and mirrors and things. And the way that it opens and then it comes back to that table, it's incredibly heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. It just uses this single piece of furniture to like fly you through time. But it leaves out none of the impactful moments, cuts out all the fat, and gets right to what is at stake here. And this, just the way that jarring moment of, where he slams his hand down, and you could see that was the fracturing moment of their relationship. And then that just, it's gut wrenching line about being back with two chairs. I think that Lettersbury Leary, she is an exceptional writer. I really like a lot of her writes. I think probably because a lot of them I relate to. They're very relatable to me. A lot of that kind of stuff happened in my home as well. And so this, for myself, my mom was a single mother, and we had an abusive father as well. So a couple of them actually, but I think maybe that's why I kind of reach towards her work, because I understand it. It's kind of interesting. It's almost like I'm seeing it through my own mom's eyes in a way. And I've been
Yes.
I've been at that kitchen table. I know exactly what that kitchen table is, and I know exactly the look of my mom's face when that happened. This is heartbreaking, and it was done so very well.
That is for me too, because we had this huge wooden table that we would eat on, and my mother could not do anything wrong. Nothing. She couldn't look at my dad wrong. She couldn't say anything wrong. She couldn't disagree. If she did, he would pick up that table and toss it across the room, and all our dishes would come crashing to the floor. And he would attack my mom. It's writing is a catharsis. It's a way of healing. It allows us to heal. We can relive those moments and let them go and tuck them back away. And I'm sorry if anybody, you and Gray and I don't know about Weaver, but to have to live through that, I think it makes us, for me, it makes us better people, to be more kind to others because of their suffering.
I find it in a way that we're all very blessed that we have this ability and outlet to be able to put it down on a piece
Mm-hmm.
of paper and being able to read it back to yourself, have others read it. That's why I truly think the gift of writing is. And I think that for me, this was very, uh, I, I don't know what else to say, but it was very good for me to
Yeah,
read.
reliving those images. Yeah.
Absolutely, wonderful comments. And Weaver
Weaver.
Green, what did you think?
Oh yes, this really hit home. Like, like as you've all said, if you suffer through this kind of thing, it lives with you and makes you a different person. I don't know what they say about what doesn't kill you make you stronger. I don't believe that. I think if anything, you just get little bits of you nibbled away and hollows, and the 13 folds for each one I thought was a lovely line. And the fact that this was talked about through the table and what the table noticed and knew, I thought was a wonderful way to get it across. So very well done. Thank you for sharing.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, poetry is cathartic, and these radio shows bring it to life, You get to hear your fellow poets and their thoughts and their feelings. Um, so bless fill my eyes for everything that she's done to provide us with these poetry shows, lo these many years. And yeah, bless you, Phil. But the right is palpable. It's engaging. It really holds its message and theme throughout. This is a love story gone bad, as they often do, and this this table carries the weight of all of that from start to finish. Um, Heart wrenching for sure. Beautifully done. All right. So up next we've got Muted Lyrics by Cedar Chapman, and there's a recording for this.
Muted Lyrics by Cedar Chapman. How you look at me furrowed with confusion, eyes gone dull like rain-streaked glass of a closed-down coffee shop. Where do the notes of my keyboard begin and end? Black and ivory struck together with uncertain hands, like hail rattling on concrete. A rhythm only I walk and dance to, but to others, rain boots and puddles distracting a sunny afternoon. My deepest thoughts are a choir of muted lyrics choking in my throat. As my enigma smolders behind my ribs, each slow breath is frost and fire, paralyzing me from breathing all of you in. Yet, you are the air my lungs ache for, the missing key to every locked room in my chest. When our backs touch on the bed, I see you, lost inside my fog, searching for a beacon through the haze, glancing at the empty suitcase, pondering, considering. Go, save yourself before you drown in the silence of my walls. Please, stay.
Wow. Fantastic read, Peter Chapman. And Luyu, what did you think?
I was just looking to see what he wrote for, and he wrote for a quote. I've never been in love. I've dreamt of it day and night, but my heart is like a firing piano. No one can play because the key is lost. You know, when you're unable to trust and you're unable to give somebody yourself, and sometimes it takes time for the trust to build. But if you hold that person back, you know, um, my deepest thoughts are the choir of muted lyrics choking in my throat when you're unable to express or unable to trust or unable to reach out for the person that's with you and that loves you. Um, and I love the idea of the piano and that missing key or that key that is off. He says it's his emotions are locked in his chest, but he doesn't want this person to be dragged down into his lack of trust, his deep depression, not making them feel that your relationship is a whole. He tells of pondering, considering, go save yourself. So he loves her enough to let her go, but at the same time, those last few words of the stanza is heartbreaking, where he realizes that before you drown in the silence of my walls. And then he says, please stay, because he doesn't want her to leave. This is wonderfully written. Excellent poem in audio by Cedar.
Thank you so much, Luyu. Well done. And T Manjano, what did you think?
Yeah, I, I, I don't like the music ones a lot of the times, but this one really worked. I really liked it. It really kind of set the mood really well. But man, this one, it really hits you right in the chest. It's got that gut wrenching feeling of deeply being in love with someone, but feeling like your own internal mess is dragging them down. Uh, you know, um, I think Cedar uses beautiful, like these tragic lines, a, a choir of muted lyrics choking in my throat. I love that. To show how hard it is actually to say what's going on inside. It's just, that he having a hard time being able to convey his message and let them know. But you can feel this heavy tension where the speaker feels totally misunderstood, like their partner is just lost in in their fog, and that ending is just, I mean, it's honest. It's just it's a desperate, this push and pull where they literally tell their partner, go save yourself before you drown. But after all that, there's this there's like all that space in the page, that very last word, in this raw, vulnerable whisper, please stay. It was so good with all that white in there because it kind of perfectly nails that contradiction of wanting to protect someone from your baggage, but then desperately needing them to stay around. Oh, it's brutal, brutal, right? Really well done.
Absolutely. Fantastic comment. Thank you so much. And Weaver of Dreams, what did you think?
Very, very powerful. My goodness. Everybody's mentioned the ending, and it was just so perfect. And the lines. I love the each slow breath is frost and fire, paralyzing me from breathing all of you in. Yet you are the air my lungs ache for. Oh, I mean, come on, that is beautiful. So good. And yes, I like, yeah, I must agree about the music, but I think that it was just enough to add a lovely sweetness to what was a very harsh and painful read and write. So thank you for sharing.
Absolutely, yeah. To me, this feels full of loneliness while in a relationship. I mean, that's got to be the worst place to be, is to be so alone yet in the middle of a relationship. And, you know, the whole thing was palpable and engaging throughout. But what really got my eyes was glancing at the empty suitcase, pondering, considering. Go, save yourself before you drown in the silence of my walls, please. Wow. Epic, right? Thank you so much for sharing, Cedar Chapman. Alrighty, so up next we have. Uh, where is my late night poets group? Refresh. I don't know. My group just disappeared here. That's crazy. Wow, I can't find the group.
Do you
Unreal.
want me to?
I think it's Elizabeth. Was that the right one?
Yes, yes, yeah,
Uh, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so we have
yeah. It's
Elizabeth by
mhm.
DJGS. And if you wouldn't mind reading that, please, Tim, that would be wonderful.
Oh, okay. All right. So Elizabeth by DJGS 117. Elizabeth, it was my fault. I hurt you all. Amount not small. Installed anger tall. I destroyed your mother. Employed no other. A smothered uncover. Shudder is the encumber. I deserve this hell. Preserve this shell. Encourage this entail. Serve this quell. You'll see me eventually. You'll be seen inconsequentially. You'll feel my entity. You'll be my insanity. I hurt your mother. I made her feel unsafe. But I heard her other and ignored her quake. I promise if I see you, I'll never make the same mistake. I've begged and pleaded for you. You were not a mistake. And boom.
Wow. Thank you so much for that fantastic read, T. And Luyu, well done. What are your thoughts?
No, it's a great read, Tim. This just it says that a smothered uncover. So I'm wondering if the mother found out something and she faced him because he says it was my fault. I hurt you all. Amount not small. Installed anger tall. So this was a real brutal fight. And he says he realizes that, he deserves this hell, the consequences of what happened. And he says, I hurt your mother. I made her feel unsafe, but I heard her other. So I don't know if his mother was involved with somebody who was yelling at her the same way. I don't know. But you cannot, don't mess with my mama. You know, you can't do that. You know,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. That's my mom, my mamacita. And obviously he's saying he's sorry and he's pleading. You know, and he says you were not the mistake. So this sounds very deeply personal. I don't know what it was uncovered. I see that, I don't know if you would have to really be forgiving of somebody to go back after, you've done this to their mother. So, best of luck, DJ. And, we all have to learn to control our temper, because when we say things, we can't take it back.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks so much, dude. And who read that actually? Sorry, you read it, T, right?
Yes, I read it.
Okay, thank you. Um, Weaver of Dreams. What are your thoughts?
Yes, this I mean, I don't know. Is this a true story? Because if it is, then this is a very brave admission. If this is a fantasy, if this is a story, then it's a beautifully written one. But how? I mean, terrible thing to admit that you hurt somebody so badly that your own child will no longer speak to you, and well deserved, obviously. But these are the people that you're supposed to be able to trust to look after you. And so when one of them makes such a big mistake, and that it affects your whole life from there on. It shakes your beliefs. And how can you trust anyone if you can't trust the one person that you're supposed to be able to? So yeah, an awful lot to make up for by the look of this, and I'm hoping it is just a story, but very well done. And thank you for sharing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, this kind of reminds me of my father, the shit and abuse he put my mother through, and then always seeking forgiveness, which made him pathetic in my eyes. Because, you can't flip your lid in one hand and have your, heart in your hand in the next moment. It's just ridiculous. So, get it together or just disappear in my mind. So anyway, yeah, I X'd him out of my life, and that was what he got for all that he put into my relationship with him. So, hasta la vista. Thank you so much, but no, don't want any. All right, so up next we have a poem called
Gray,
Maiden.
Gray,
Yep, yep.
you forgot to ask Tim on his
Oh, I'm
thoughts.
sorry. T, my antenna. What did you think?
I was perfectly okay with letting this one go. It was a pretty intense read myself, and unfortunately, I have a lot to agree with Gray on what he's saying. So I have that hasta la vista moment in my own life. It's probably why we write the way we do. But this poem was incredibly heavy. I'm gonna just go ahead and take my own self out of it and just say, yeah, it was honest. It's pretty intense to read. It sounds like a confession or guilt or deep regret, and yeah, okay, whatever. But right off the bat, the speaker takes total responsibility, and I'll say, okay, maybe it was a one-time thing. I doubt it. For breaking this family apart, using the tight rhythm stanzas real quick. And man, it really built that pressure. It was my fault. I caused the anger and I destroyed your mother. There's no hiding or mistaking those excuses. It's just going ahead and thrown out there. But what really made like the screen freeze for me for a second was that fourth stanza. It takes this kind of dark, threatening turn. This is where it got kind of a little off the kilter for me, where it was a little bit like toxic tension, if you will. You'll feel my entity. You'll be my insanity. I don't know. That's pretty eerie to me. That's kind of like went a little bit off topic, and then it's almost like, okay, I'm going to need to reel this thing back in, because by the end it shifts back into that desperate plea. But overall, an intense piece. but I agree, depending on, this is a one-time thing, three-time thing, or whether it's a lifelong thing where they always ask for forgiveness. Like I agree with Gray. It was an intense read. Well done.
Absolutely. Fantastic comment. Thank you so much. Humanzano. All right. So up next we have a poem called Maiden by Katana Oakliet. And there's an audio for that. If you would, please show my eyes.
On a desolate island where the salt bites like sorrows, a bronze maiden stands, gazing across endless pearl lava, frozen in time, a screech of lost dreams. Once she danced beneath sunlit skies, and now her heart thrust. Every heartbeat silenced, every laugh turned to dust. Hope drifts away on waves too far to grasp, too close to clasp. Her skin catches the wind, but her spirit is still lost in shadows of the past. The cracked shell strength, full of pain, a wilting flower full of disdain, fading light, life given in vine, slowly turning him to stone, awakening. Island finally beats like an oyster. Snatch the pearls.
Beautiful song. And what did you think, Lee Wild Dove?
I've got to say, I have really loved these sites that people go to have, your lyrics sung by somebody, and then they pick the music to play it with. You can choose. I just find that, it just brings to life so many of the poems that are written for music, for lyrics. This one sounds like this person, that they're heartbroken, because, she starts out on a desolate island where the salt bites like sorrow. A bronze maiden stand, gazing across the endless pearl lava, frozen in time. And, she just describes it, the heartache, the loneliness, a cracked shell strained full of pain, a wilting flower full of disdain, so she's on this lava island, and at the end, she finally, like an oyster, snatches the pearls. She goes within herself. It's it's a heartbreaking song, and I thought it was lovely, and I like the music she chose with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. It had a very Evanescence feel and sound to it. And Tim, what did you think?
Evanescence. That's actually you hit it right on the head. I was trying to put that together. I'm like, oh yeah, it has a little bit of evanescence thing going on. That's very good. Um, I'm not typically fond of the music ones, just because it distracts me. I kind of want to hear the voice in my head, but so I kind of try to read it through. Um, it's very cinematic. It's got the high fantasy transformation. That track in the back of it's awesome. Um, Typically cool with like an Evanescence song, which I do like. And it has this beautiful, heavy imagery. The Bronze Maiden frozen in grief, on a desolate island. Um, and the line where it says that that the island finally beats like an oyster. I love that ending. That outro was really cool. Snatch the pearls. It flips like kind of the entire narrative for me when I got to that point. So um, she goes like, from beginning as tragic figure turned into like a stone, and then like it's completely awakened, ready to reclaim her power and take back what's hers. Uh, an awesome mythical journey from like despair to like badass survival. Yay! So it's the best I can take on it.
Yeah, thanks so much, Tim. And Weaver of Dreams, your thoughts?
It was beautifully done, wasn't it? That music was perfect. It's very clever. I like the way as Luyu said, the fact that people can do that. They can write and then have that put to music. I did try to do it a couple of times, well, 2 or 3 times. Not so successful. But I thought this was brilliant, and I the thought that she her once she danced beneath sunlit skies, now her heart thrust, every heartbeat silenced, every laugh turned to dust. Ah, isn't that just life? I mean, let's face it. You think everything's going wonderfully, and then whoop, that's it. Somebody's got your pearl. Very good. Um, Actually, talking about pearls, I bought a designer bag because I do sell it quite a bit on eBay. I bought a designer bag, and it has in it inside it. It's a oyster shaped bag, and inside it has the world is your oyster, and there's a little pearl in there, which the minute I saw this reminded me of that lovely handbag. It's
Oh,
so it was just lovely. Lovely surprise to see that the world is your oyster. But yeah, so beautifully done, and thank you so much for sharing.
Fantastic comment, Weaver. Thank you so much. Yeah, I really enjoyed the write. I do like music put to poetry or poetry put to music, because I mean that's what all songs are really in my mind, is stories and poems, put to music. And um, like the one that always carried me away, that happened the most when I was in turning tween, was Pink Floyd. The lyrics in that and the music combined just carried me off into another world. Um, I used to lay my head between two speakers and just crank it. And I actually blew my stepdad's speakers twice because I had it cranked so loud. There was, I don't know, man, something so hypnotizing and so fantastic about smoking a joint and listening to Pink Floyd, man. Oh my goodness.
Oh man, you're talking my language, Gray. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, there was just something so magical about listening to the lyrics of Pink Floyd. Like, I mean, some of it was pretty brutal, and the one that always got me was, "Hey, teacher, leave those kids alone." I don't know what it was about that, but it took me to classrooms where I had asshole teachers that would, abuse the children, and it was a different time and age where people got away with shit that they shouldn't have. It's not like today where you're being video recorded, and you can't hurt the children, or abuse them with your voice or whatever. So yeah, cheers to Pink Floyd. I mean, they saved my life. So, and I think that's kind of where I got into lyrics and poetry, was Pink Floyd. So, um, beautiful rate and a fantastic song.
Well, now I feel like a butthead by saying I don't like the music ones.
No, that's okay. To each their own, man. That's what the world is about. To each their own. What are you laughing at? Do you wild dove?
Listen to y'all, toting, listening to hard rock. Well, that was the age we grew up in. I love rock and roll.
There's nothing like music. Nothing like music.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
ACDC, gotta be
Yeah.
AC,
Yeah,
gotta be
for sure.
ACDC, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, fantastic job. So up next we have Laurent Montaner, and he brings us. Sorry, just got to get to it here. Drink from my blood. And there's an audio for that.
Within the lustful murmurs of the wind, I hear a seductive voice, a wicked temptation to savor the sensual drops of her eroticism. She feeds off my naked flesh, exposing her exotic eyes. Her hunger is ravenous like a wild beast on the prowl. Legend says she enraptures men with her Elizabeth's incantation. She drinks from the fountain of my bare chest, licking every dripping drop with her salivating tongue, pouring blood into the chalice of her orgasmic swallow. Her lips and mouth are covered in the moisture of a crimson shade. My echoic bones are her insatiable pleasures. I am a willing servant to her naughty games of perversion. My body is the sacrifice of the eternal nights of climactic arousal. Bebe de mi sangre, moja mis sábanas con tu lujuria. Hazme el amor bajo la luna llena. Drink from my blood, wet my sheets with your lust. Make love to me under the full moon. In the poem.
Gray, you there? You're muted.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was asking for you to comment. Do you? Thank you.
Okay. Well, he is one of my favorite writers. He writes lust so beautifully. He's got my favorite words in here, um, exotic eyes, um, ravenous hunger, uh, you know, the licking every dripping drop with her salivating tongue, pouring blood into the chalice of her orgasmic swallow. Ooh, good Rika. And, it's just, bebe mi sangre, moja mis sábanas. Ooh, it's just enough to give you chills and make your mouth water. So I thoroughly enjoyed listening to him whisper this very erotic poem. Wonderful poem, Morant.
Thank you to you. Yeah, I think a lot of women have vampiric fantasies, and Frank definitely has that in his
How would you know that, Gray?
because so many women are turned on by the thought of a vampire and drinking their
And
blood.
werewolves, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, what did you think, T?
All right. So the more I read from Laurent Montaner. You're exactly right, Luyu. This guy has got a style. First of all, his reading voice to this was just haunting. I mean, the track is just straight up intense. It's like a dark gothic vampire romance, mixed with pure erotica, and it was. I mean, it's right down my alley. This stuff is really good.
Hmm.
You have this. It's just very visceral, horror chic, imagery with lines about like this ravenous hunger. You're right, Louis. He writes it so well, and it's not just the way he writes it. It's you could you can hear the truth in the way he reads it. He feels this. It's just blood being poured into a a chalice. It just completely blurs the line between pleasure and danger, and I think that's what makes it so fascinating.
Yeah,
It,
both of
it
them are good.
yeah, you're just it blurs that area, and you get
Mm.
kind of lost in it. And he has such a special gift. When he read those Spanish lines, I don't know what the hell he was saying, but I was about to take my pants off. I was like, damn. I mean,
Uh-oh. I don't hear Weaver laughing. Did she faint?
I don't
Yeah,
know,
it's
man.
muted.
I'll tell you what, that
Did
was
you?
yeah, maybe she did. I mean, I don't go that way,
Oh,
but my goodness sakes alive, that was strong writing, and it was heavily laced. And I think that's why I
mm,
really like it. It's such a heavily laced
enrapturing.
it like sucks the kind of like the volume and oxygen out of you, and you're just hearing it. You're like not even in the same room, and you hear it. Very powerful, very powerful. I truly enjoyed this one. Wonderful, right, Laureate? Just exceptional.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tim. And Weaver of Dreams, what did you think?
Well, kind of left me a little bit cold.
Get out of here.
Oh man, I have
you
missed
just you
hearing.
need
I have
some more
missed.
whiskey.
Definitely. I have missed listening to this man and his words. It's been such a long time. And I loved it. I am willing servant to her naughty games of perversion. You bet you are, my boy. Brill- Brilliantly done as ever. I really enjoyed it. And I like the comments as well. Thank you. Well done. Thank you for sharing. Ah, dear. Get my pants off. Oh, really? Oh, man. The things you learn. So,
Yeah,
yes.
sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it. Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I've said the same thing before, Yumpy. I mean, I don't swing that way, but I mean, he has a way with his voice and his words, especially the Spanish. That's, I mean, stunning, really. But the whole ride is deep, dark, and delicious throughout, licking every dripping drop with her salivating tongue, pouring blood into the chalice of her orgasmic swallow. Yeah, drink me up, baby. Yeah,
Mhm.
drink me up. I thought it was great. Nicely done, Frank.
That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So the next poem up is. Oh, shoot. Come on. Okay, so the next poem up is for Luyu to read, and it's by Yumpy. If you wouldn't mind, please, Luyu.
Okay. Earth's Unquiet Sculptor by Yumping. Between Bogota and glass, between corn cobs and bones, you gather seed, salted piranha, frog suspended in formaldehyde, things that live, things that die, things that myth remembers. Your mestiza, a mixing of indigenous corn and Spanish sky, of bodies shredded by histories you did not choose, of sacred geometries in gourd, woven water, copulatory organs. You sculpt silence out of violence, when death was a drum in the streets, when La Violencia danced at the door. You built from its ash, arranging frogs in circles, piranhas facing forwards, flags made of sweets. You teach us that common is powerful, that gourds, that seeds, that animals carry memory, carry bones of ancestral myth. Pre-Columbian voices whisper through corn drawings, through corn ropes winding round modern museum walls. You reach for nature's delicate edge, tiny anatomy under lens, insect genitalia in crystal display, so that we might see not taboo, but truth, not measure, but meaning. You cross oceans, Bogota to Yale to Sydney to MoMA. You carry your homeland in your hands. You make lo que no se espera, a flea circus, live fleas dancing, tiny performers for big questions. What is identity, if not this? A living archive of seeds and skin, of colonizer shadow and indigenous sunrise, of every species we claimed and everyone we have forgotten. You remind us that mortality is not the opposite of life, but its twin. Beauty blooms in decay, knowledge and curiosity. The unquiet matter of nature becomes your gallery, and we enter humbled. Maria Fernanda Cardoso, you sculpt heritage, not as a relic, but as creation's side, not as something lost, but as something alive, exposed, transformed in poem.
Beautiful read, Luyu. What a deep write. I mean, this person that he speaks of, Maria Fernanda Cardoso, was quite the artist. I mean, apparently, she used live fleas to put on a show. Um, her best known creations is the Cardoso Flea Circus, 1994 to 2000, where she trained real live fleas to perform, walking tightropes, dancing, pulling tiny vehicles in collaboration with video projection. That's incredible. I mean, how do you train a flea? The Flea Circus toured internationally. Sydney Opera House, Centre Pompidou, San Francisco Exploratorium, etc. That's incredible. I mean, how do you train fleas to be in a circus? I mean, come on. That's just off the charts, really. But what are your thoughts, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so first of all, Yumpy's always top shelf to me. Everything I've read from him really works. He really zeroes in. I mean, this poem is so cool because it's basically a love letter to how art can take an absolute worst parts of of history and turn them into something meaningful. It's just there's just the killer line, "You sculpt silence out of violence." That's so cool. Um, I'm going to just not do this thing any justice at all. It was just so well done. Um, what I love the most is the takeaway at the end. The heritage isn't just some dusty relic sitting on a shelf. It's alive. It's constantly changing, and it's built from this unquiet stuff of nature. Really makes you realize there's so much power hidden in the most unexpected places. Wonderfully done, Yuppie. Really, really, really well done.
Absolutely fantastic comment. Thank you so much. And Weaver of Dreams, what did you think?
Beautifully written, my goodness me. And a flea circus. I mean, what an amazing idea. There was a comedian, there was a comic in the UK. I think he was called Michael Benteen, who had a flea circus, but he did it. There was nothing there. There was no fleas. He just did it with mechanics. He made the wire move as if something was on it, and click clop click clop as something was going up the ladder or whatever, little puffs in the sand. So it wasn't real, but he made it into this flea circus, and of course the children believed it and loved it. But I thought this was just beautifully written. The Obviously Yumpy has a great deal of respect for this particular artist, and I think that came across very much by the amount of work he put into this. So beautifully done. Thank you for sharing.
Fantastic comment. Thanks so much, Weaver. And Luyu, have you commented?
No.
Would you mind commenting, please?
Yeah, this was for National Hispanic Heritage. He got the gold and I got the silver. Um, I wrote for her because I wrote those beautiful flowers that were hanging in the air. If you look into her history, which is a lot of it he put in the author's notes, they were having a war destroying her homeland, that war that they had in Colombia. She says she identifies as mestiza, which is mixed indigenous Spanish heritage. And what she did was, with all the stuff that she did, she says it was about exploring cultural identity, finding materials, flora, and fauna tied to Colombia or the Amazon, and the legacy of colonization and indigenous roots. And I thought that he beautifully caught that in everything that he wrote. This was like, reading, a pamphlet, where he describes her education and all the work she did and how she used her background of being mestiza to allow her artwork to grow and show how the Spanish invaded, it just how this changed where she lived. So I thought this was wonderfully done. And that she says that she carries the memory, carries the bones of ancestral myth, from the indigenous part of her. So, I could see a lot of in here, even with the Native Americans, her connection with the earth. And I thought that was just beautiful.
Wonderful comment. Thank you, Luyu, and a fantastic read as well. Okay, so up next we have The Vista, and this is by Weaver of Dreams. Whenever you're ready, Weaver, please and thank you.
Thank you, my dear. Okay. The Vista. I am
Okay,
aware
so
that
that
I push him to reach a level.
sorry.
Hello?
When I clicked on the
Can
link
you?
in the studio, it brought me to your profile, so I'm not too sure what's up with that.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
So
I'll tell you what. I Hang on a second. I can put this in chat, or I can send it to you, and you
I've got it. I'm gonna post
hang
it in
on.
the
Let me
link.
see.
I'll post it in the group here.
Oh,
One
thank you.
second. 1 second here. Uh, un momento, por favor, señorita. Okay, here we
No,
go.
no problem.
All right, we're ready.
Okay. Thank you. Vista. I am aware that I push him to reach a level of light and fluid color, abstract beauty, with lines that follow, flow, delineate each hollow, with the palest lilac, the barest blush of pink. Each tiny puncture marks hold, sorry, I can't even read my own poetry. Oh dear. Each tiny puncture mark holds pigments rarer than azure skies, topaz hues, bands and swathes, loops and swirls begin and end upon me. The journey delights and enthralls. This pain must have meaning, holding vision and intent as each nip of the round liner needle alters, changes, while the intervention of the shaders evolves and elevates. I am his canvas. Each part of me is his to invent. He lays upon me a rolling vista, tempered only by the inner variety that is his, or the steel of his will. End poem.
Beautiful read. Thanks so much, Weaver. Be well done. What are your thoughts?
I thought this was, can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
I thought this was beautifully penned. You know, the artistic work of the tattoo using the body as a canvas, you know, to puncture with colors, bright and brilliant, you know, to map your body, the curves, you know, and the indentions and these beautiful colors. I really loved how you made those colors just pop with brightness and beauty. You know, you talk about, and then, you know, the light hand that, you know, that they're delicate, how they, with, you know, with the palest pink, the barest pink blush, the azure skies, topaz hues. It was just beautiful. It was like their pen was a paintbrush that was just putting the visions of beauty of what you chose or allowing them to map your body. And like you said here, I am his canvas, each part of me is stays to a vent. I thought that was just beautiful, Weaver. I really enjoyed this.
Wow, great comment. Thank you so much. And Tim, what did you think?
Well, first of all, I'm just going to say I'm honored to be commenting on one of your rights, Weaver. I think that you're fascinating. I think you're fantastic. I love your reading voice. I love the words you use. So just wanted to say that I'm very honored to be able to comment on this. Um, this poem is just fascinating because it takes, you know, something we usually think of as purely physical and makes it feel incredibly, like, you know, sacred and intimate. You know, it's written from the perspective of someone, you know, becoming like a living canvas, describing the actual physical process of, you know, getting this massive tattoo. um I mean, you use these gorgeous abstract language, you know, this talking about lilacs and pink pigments and swirls and loops, but then, you know, you drop all these highly, you know, like specific technical details, like, you know, the round liner needle and the shaders. It completely changes how you look at, you know, the experience. It's not just about getting inked. The speaker is literally saying, this pain, uh, I must have it. You know, this pain must have meaning. You know, it's very deep. It's also very vulnerable. That ending stanza, my goodness, talking about being vulnerable and just letting yourself be that canvas. Ugh, it's incredibly intoxicating. Outstanding, right? Loved it.
Great comment. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, no, you know, this poem makes me feel violated by my tattoo artist. Come on, you know, you know, he's getting under my flesh here, and you know, who wants that? But you know, I guess he did leave beautiful imagery, so I really
Oh,
enjoyed your
great.
poem. But you know, it's so intimate, so engaging. You know, it's I am this canvas. Each part of me is his to invent. He lays upon me a rolling vista, tempered only by the inner variety that is his, or the
Mm.
steel of his will. Yeah, now I feel violated. Thank you very much, Weaver. But
My
nicely
pleasure.
read. Thank you so much. Would you like to say anything about your poem?
Only that I read it very badly. Oh my
No,
goodness.
you did not.
Oh dear, and you know me, I stumble. That's why I always have my audios out there. Thank you so much for your comments. I am totally overwhelmed. Uh, Very kind. I enjoyed writing this. I like sometimes to be a little bit lyrical. Not, I don't do it very often because I don't do it very well, but I do enjoy doing it. So thank you very much.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Weaver. Okay, so up next we have A Tender Smile. This is a collab between I Love Poems, aka Salwa, and Lorient Montaner. I
I
will,
don't see the link.
I will give you this a read. It's in there. You need to refresh your page, I
I
guess.
did refresh it. It's not coming up.
Okay, well, it's above my comment. Do you see my
It
comment where it
just
says
says
Weaver?
Weaver Incredible Right.
Yeah,
In
it
the
should be
okay, it
between
says
there and Weaver of Dreams.
You're
the
reading. Oh,
Vista.
you're reading Lawrence poem,
Yeah,
Lorient.
yeah, Laureate
Okay, I got
Montanaire.
it. Thank you.
And
I
all
thought it
right,
was his
so
other poem.
okay, so
Sorry.
this is a tender smile, a collab between Salwa, aka I Love Poems, and Laureate Montanaire. The hummingbird sighs with me, feeling my sorrow, searching for its song in my dreamy soul. The flower closes with my long sigh, tapping my heart with the freshness of its petals. Henceforth dawn will come, and my eyes will see the sky and its sun blush gently. The color of the aurora will remind me of your celestial beauty, and the caresses of nature will cleanse your heart, suffused in the festal tears of yesterday. In the autumn rains and the auburn leaves strewn, where sentimental promenades upon the stillness of the garden will accompany the songs of the joyful sparrows that make you sing as you pluck the remaining petals of the roses, comforting your soul. With the intimate whispers of the wind, blowing words of serenity, knowing that the soft petals will soon fade away, an augur of the coming of a foreseeable winter. But the seasons come and pass so naturally on this heaven on earth, as the silence once imagined will be forgotten with a tender smile on your sad face, waiting for the sweet scent of nectar to exude its amber color, and your sighs will go away when the angelic hummingbird returns next season with its beautiful fluttering wings and poem. And Lee Waldo, what did you think? Oh, this was written to the quote, "The hardest thing on earth is choosing what matters."
Yeah, I thought this was beautiful. I mean, I love poems. You know, she's one of my favorite poets on here, especially with the different languages that she writes in. You know, I love this nature poem about the hummingbirds because I plant for them, I feed them, I plant flowers, trees that care for these tiny little beings. Um, you know, and how you look for them every season when it comes, and that beauty, you know. And it says the hummingbird sighs with me, filling my sorrows. You know, it's like he's flying around her, just trying to bring up the spirits. You know, it says tapping my heart with the freshness of its petals. You know, they just use nature and the colors in here. You know, saying the color of your aura will remind me of your celestial beauty, and the caress of nature will cleanse your heart, suffused in the bestial tears of yesterday. Then it goes into autumn and, you know, of course, into winter. Um, and, you know, the silence of not hearing those little chirps and the nectar that makes them desire to come to your place, waiting for the sweet scent of nectar to exclude its amber color. You know, I just thought this was just gorgeous. The both of them did such a beautiful collaboration, and I too wait each season for those little hummingbird wings to come back and chirp, telling me, feed me. This is beautiful. Salwa and Lorient did a beautiful collab.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tim, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, we have a hummingbird feeder in our back yard, and we have brownie, reddy, greeny, and white neck. So there's
Wow.
yeah, four different hummingbirds, and so and they constantly fight for each, like run each other off.
Yeah, they're real bossy.
They really are. They really are. But God, we just love them. This is just like cozy comfort food for the soul.
Mhm.
It's just such a beautiful collab. It's just all about nature. Basically, wraps its arms around you. When you're going through it. I love just sometimes I'll sit out there in the backyard and I'll just try to stay very still. And I can buy a half an hour and 45 minutes sometimes, over a glass of red wine and just watch them come up to the side and just of those little petals and the wisps of the wings. It's just that flutter is what this poem's really all about for me. I can almost hear it the entire time. That
Yeah, that humming.
yeah, you can hear the
Mhm.
brrrr. It's so wonderful. Right from the jump, you get this image of a hummingbird singing along with the speaker sadness, and there is a little bit of sadness into it. And the reason
Mhm.
is it's closing up, to match. It's kind of like trying to match the mood of what's coming. It's like this inevitable. I think it's like a winter that's I think it's going to come. But the whole point of the is that the winter doesn't last. My favorite vibe in this ending is where it tells you that the silence and the sadness are going to be forgotten with this tender smile, and then the hummingbird is going to come back next season. That's what we all wait for. I
Yes.
cannot wait
Yes.
for them to come back. That is my favorite part.
Mhm.
And then you get to go.
Agreed.
You're going to be able to sit out there and hear them again. Um, I, for me, this was a comfort right. I loved it. I'm going to go ahead and drink a little bit more of my red wine while I'm sitting here listening to you folks.
Great comment. Thank you so much, Tim. And Weaver of Dreams, your thoughts?
Oh, wow. Hearing you talk about them, I have never seen one. I mean, it must be the most amazing thing.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
And
travesty,
you
travesty.
don't have hummingbirds in
no,
Scotland?
no, I have never seen one. I
Oh,
mean,
Oh,
it must be. I really envy you. It must be so beautiful. I'm saying, I mean, I'm housebound, so I've not been able to go around much. So maybe there are, but I don't think in the Highland of Scotland. I think this place would be far too. The weather would be. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to look into it because if
yeah,
there are somewhere.
the
there. Yeah, and
the weather would
no.
be probably a little bit inhospitable. I'm in Southern
Yeah,
California,
cool.
so we get them a lot. It's the weather's
Oh.
perfect, of course, but I feel
Mm.
so that's I wish I could bring out. You know what? I'm gonna bring one to you. I'm gonna catch a plane. I'm gonna catch a few. It's gonna bring them over, and then I'll bring them back home.
Thank you.
Oh,
That would be wonderful. I
yeah,
look forward to it.
yeah.
I really.
And they always return back, and their children return back. They it's just like I know when they're here because I'm sitting outside watering my plants, and they will literally get a foot from my face and complain and like put out the sugar water.
Oh my goodness, that is
Yeah,
so
and they chirp
sweet.
with their,
Oh,
and you can just hear their wings going super fast.
yes. Oh my
It's
goodness.
it's like um to me they're jewel birds. They're more beautiful than emeralds. It's like they have all the rare and old color type jewels
Mm-hmm.
of
Okay.
ancient times. Yeah.
Wow. Lucky people. Ah, oh well,
Yeah.
I'll go online and I'll have a look at them online. So at least I'll have
Oh,
to
they're
step away from.
amazing. Amazing. Yeah, we had a screened in porch at my lodge in Northern Ontario. And one day, I'm walking up to my deck and it was screened in, like I say. And all of a sudden, I hear this hummingbird fly past me. The next thing you know, it stuck beak first into the mesh of the screened in porch. So, yeah, I opened
Oh
my screen
no.
door and I tapped its beak backwards and up it flew. But that was a
Oh,
moment I'll never forget.
Aw.
oh,
Oh.
beautiful.
Anyway, I'd like to thank everybody for calling in tonight and sharing your hearts, your minds, your voices, and most
Thank
especially your
you.
time. It's been wonderful to have you, Tim. Join us
Thanks.
anytime, as well as you, Weaver. Always a pleasure to hear your voice and your
Yeah.
wonderful laugh. Yeah. You guys,
Yeah.
much,
And
much.
thank you, Gray, for being my right hand for my shows and always helping me out.
Yeah,
And to
sorry, I kind of
Phil.
took over your show, but I don't need to.
Well, no. I lit you. No. Ándale, hombre. Mm-mm.
But yeah,
and
thank you
to
so much, Fill
Phil,
My Eyes.
because Phil is doing all this work, everything, the shows, the recordings, putting out the poems, because Gray doesn't make a list.
Yeah,
Tim,
thanks, Phil, so much.
I always rag him because he forgets who read last and who hasn't commented. So it's the list thing between me and him. So yeah, I have
Yeah,
to rag him. Yeah.
Well, it's my
yeah,
honor. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for showing
yeah.
up.
You're
I
welcome
appreciate it.
anytime.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
All
Thank
right, have a
you. Good
wonderful
night,
night, everybody.
everybody. Love you
Good night,
guys.
everyone.
Te amo
Much,
mucho.
much love,
Besitos.
everybody.
Good night, young boy.
Thank you to
Bye-bye.
everybody listening in the studio. Jojo, Yumpy, Cedar, Katana, anybody else that I missed. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.